Hello and welcome. Welcome to Dragon Memoria. Yay! What is Dragon Memoria, you may ask? Well, it's mostly Dungeons and Dragons, more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. Don't worry, Fisher's going to be there. He sent a message earlier. He said he was going to be something like, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes late, if everything goes well.
He's holding up a wall.
Yeah.
As constructs are often tasked with.
Yeah, no, wall holder. It's an actual job.
But you can't hold the wall too well, or else it'll go the other direction.
Yeah, or if you do too good of a job, you might get that job permanently. Then you just become a statue. You know, that's probably what happened to Atlas. He was holding the earth too well, and he just became a statue holding the earth. Mm-hmm. Alright, so for those who don't know, that's Greek mythology. Go check it out.
I mean, hey, Heracles held the earth for just a little bit. It's just like help a bro out.
Yeah. Give him a little vacation. And for those of you who think that a Greek thought that the earth was flat, Atlas is not holding a pizza. He's holding a ball.
My God. What Italian? He'd be like spinning the earth like a big pizza, pizza dough.
No, not quite yet. It's a bit early for pizza. I think the first example of pizza actually is during the Roman age. The very first dish that we can qualify as pizza-like is in the Roman Empire.
Well, obviously, if he was going to be spinning that earth for anything, it's because he was going to invent basketball.
Yeah. Basketball with a kinball? I want to see that. Alright. So. Yeah, like I was saying, Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't want to watch, well, that's your problem. Because for us, it's not a problem. But if you want to watch us, for whatever the reason, so long as you stay civil in the chat, it's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. And with this... Oh yeah, Thunderstorm in the background, that's Ambient Mixer. World map, that's Wonder Draft. And Dungeon map is Dungeon Alchemist. And although, since I don't know if anyone is going to be in a town today, there probably won't be any town map, but if there was ever one, it's Canvas of Kings. All the information for all those software are below the window, with the exception of Canvas of King. You can find it on Steam. I know that I probably don't need to give any of that information, especially for Wonder Draft and Canvas of Kings, as they said that it's the result of what you make is always royalty free, but hey, they're good software. I don't mind giving them a moment. Alright. What happened last episode? Yeah. The party finished their task. The last remaining group of enemy revealed itself, and a final battle was started. The light was on the side of our heroes for this last fight, as several light-infused attack, also known as Divine Smite, obliterated the enemy's line, ending this conflict in seconds. Making for a very cinematic moment when the audience just look at Connie inside of there. So that, 10 seconds. While the enemies with the enemies dealt with, our adventurer can claim victory, and their plan can now unfold unhindered. Night came, and our hero's new friend accomplished his part of the plan and isolated the innocents from the innocents. Not the innocents, just. Oh, that's cool. We isolate the innocents and we leave the rest, the people. So isolated the innocents from the village, of the village, from those who fell to greed, as well as those who participated in the destruction of the grove. In a show of elemental power, nature's wrath was unleashed, and the town was reduced to an open field devoid of any signs of a settlement having existed there at any point in history. So now our adventure takes a moment to take it all in and decide what is going to happen next. Alright. Oh yeah, we don't need thunderstorm right back. Right? So, with nature calming itself, here we have the reason why Fisher is not here right now. He said last time he completely turned himself off and fell to the ground and waited for one of you to either create a dome around him or get out a cabin. We'll see. Hey! Apparently, Fisher just finished rebooting.
Although, we'll see if I stay here.
Oh, okay.
There's a huge storm outside.
Oh.
Yeah. All three of us are in the storm, so.
Welcome back, Fisher. Would you like to see all the new features of your current update? If you're looking for the no button, we got rid of it.
Yeah, where's remind me later?
That sounds
Every 5 minutes.
That sounds so much like GLaDOS.
Yeah.
Like,
At the end of every long rest, the reminder pops
like
up.
the remind me later button has been replaced with remind me now.
Yeah.
You click remind me now, it just opens.
Would you like
and
to
closes.
purchase Microsoft 365?
Remind me now. Oh, come on. Oh, it's so aperture science. All right, so this, like I said, the battlefield is completely quiet. You've just witnessed a settlement being reabsorbed by nature in mere seconds. Now you know also why it would have been so bad if some guilty had been part of the innocents, as you saw what happened to the few survivors of the village. They just bursted into all of these vines and spread everywhere. Nature has retaken the field. And now you had decided on the last episode to stay there. Which I can understand. You've stated that you wanted to do a few things which would be easier if you stayed there and did this in the morning.
So, just to be sure, like I'm just pulling out a map real quick, and a big old X. Do not enter, and we're good.
Well, it just so happened that on the map, the village wasn't there, so apparently it's just never going to be there.
Well, now there's just a big old X in the middle of
Nowhere.
of nowhere. Just like, yep, not going there.
500 years later, people find that map and say, "Oh, there's a treasure there."
Yeah.
Oh, there's the treasure, all right.
So, how do you decide to spend the night? Like I said, bubble, cabin, sleeping next to a campfire.
Laid out like a starfish on my back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all just, if you just shut off like that, we just leave you there.
Yeah.
They all go away. They all use the orb, and just before say, "Let Fisher sleep a little bit. He'll come back in the morning." So, what do you do exactly?
Have we used the cabin?
Once. Not to sleep in
Like
it.
I was about to say, it's like I think we maybe at least feel safe enough to whip out the pull-out cabin. Not to be confused with the pull-out couch.
Yeah.
Although, note to self:
Although it does probably
portable
have a
pull-out
pull-out
couch.
Yeah, you need a couch that you can hide just as easily as the dagger you have in your beak. You can put the couch no matter where you want, and it's just gonna hide in folds of whatever's there. That's how someone can at one point say, "How did you pull that couch out of your ass?" You don't want to know. Now you want me to sleep on it? Oh, damn. All right.
It's warm. Why is it warm?
Is it supposed to be brown or is it the natural color? All right, so take the cabin out. And it's actually kind of cozy doing this because it is the beginning of winter. Snow has fallen everywhere and the temperature is going back to normal. So there's a really nasty chill in the air when you wake up. Well, not when you wake up now because you haven't gone to sleep yet. But the moment that the temperature goes back to normal, there's a really nasty chill in the air. Probably audience and Fisher are the only one who don't notice it all too much. Fisher because he lacks sensitivity to the elements, and audience because he's used to waking up in chilly place. That's your entire childhood. So you take out the cabin, you go inside, you drag Fisher inside. Leave him there in the middle of the room, on the carpet.
Well, no. If we're gonna make the best use of him, obviously we need to prop him against the door in case invaders try to come in through the front entrance.
I thought you
Always
were,
on guard duty. No days off.
I thought you were gonna say that you need to prop him against the wall so you can keep holding the wall.
Oh boy. We did get kind of lucky. I was a little worried I was going to be like an hour and a half late.
Okay. Well, fortunately, you were able to leave before the storm and the whole influx of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so cozy inside. Fisher against the door to make sure that no one can come in. Although it would take a little bit of effort to get inside of there. It is a bit of a dimensional storage place. So, yeah. Comfortable. It is nearly dawn. So you're going to be sleeping there for... you're going to be waking up at noon. Damn! Past noon. I'm sure that brings back memory. So, prepare, close the windows. Ample place for everyone to sleep. For you, audience, it's sort of slightly familiar because they're kind of cozier version of what you've had all of your life. Bunk beds. But magical bunk beds. So they're cozy. Thinking about everything that happened. Jorg, probably you're the one that would think the most about everything that just happened because it puts in contrast the difference in philosophy between you and everyone else. For you, what happened was probably just on a little overdoing it, but not that much. But you can understand that, well, for Fisher and Remy, it's a question of philosophy. For audience, it's a question of nature and principle. He's a paladin. You know that paladins and druids don't always see eye to eye. When you're fighting for good, you usually do. But when you're being your most neutral self, for the balance and for nature, usually this is where you don't see eye to eye, because a lot of people have been killed right now, including adults, women, children. That's not going to sit well with audience. He might even see this as extremely overreacting from nature. So you're sort of dreading slightly what might his reaction be in the morning, especially now since he has realized that his religion might have corrupted element into it. But the fear that his religion could be corrupted all the way through has crept up in his mind. It's going to be a harder conversation. Maybe he's not going to try and have it with you. Maybe he will. But you might have to explain, or at least make sure that everything's fine. Druids, you know that druids are usually lone agent. There aren't a lot of druids in the world. For organization size, druids are probably one of the smallest organization. There are plenty of low-level druids, but any druids that would go past maybe level 8, that's where there are fewer and fewer and fewer throughout the world. Druid village don't actually exist, or at least they're extremely rare. People will see this as we'll see some settlement as Druidic village, but you would know that these settlements are usually just normal people who have adopted a very Druidic way of living. There are, as a matter of fact, usually more nature priests than druids in those villages. Usually those settlements have maybe one or two real Druidic family, and they don't actually stay there all year round. So druids are usually lone agent. And they have to figure out how to make everything work. This is why druids rely more on warning than actual actions. Usually nature can do its thing by itself, and it will rebalance the wrong. Your main focus is to make sure that this rebalancing never occurs, but now you were in front of a moment where the rebalancing was inevitable. And you would understand more than they are the importance of a grove like this. Because it's not just a sacred place. It's not just a temple. It's a nexus of power for nature. Within maybe 50 years, this island chain would have probably started to experience a tremendous amount of easy winters. The entire climate would have been affected. The economy, everything, simply by letting the grove grow by itself, it would have become completely different. So the destruction of this grove, although no one else can see it, you can understand that it is a major problem. It has at best set back what this island chain could have been by decades, if not centuries. Or it might literally have damaged the full potential of the island chain in a way that will never be fully repaired.
Damn.
So, all of these thoughts are going through your mind. Like I said, Fisher and Remy, it's more philosophy, because warriors do not necessarily have schools like Audience would. And Remy, same thing. But thinking about all of this when you fall asleep, looking out one of the window, you have a peaceful moment where you see snow slowly falling from the sky, adding this element of gentleness to what's happening outside, or what has just happened. And you slowly drift off. When your eyes open again, you have the reflex of saying, oh, morning already? Did we sleep throughout the entire day? Then you look around and, oh, the cabin's not there. Oh, damn, did they leave you behind?
Not again.
It's like, wow, maybe he didn't go to school, but he definitely graduated from the School of Hard Knocks.
So, you have a brief moment of disorientation, but then your attention goes to this halfling, not far away from you, looking toward this missing village. He looks very relaxed, with a piece of straw in his mouth, just going, I was wondering if you'd wake up. Now, isn't that peaceful?
What?
All of this. Gentle snow falling, the human noise disappearing.
I guess it has a piece to it.
Well, it was a shame, but it was unavoidable. Now, I know that you prefer talking directly to it, but for this, maybe it's better if you talk to me. You did good, you know? You did pretty good.
Who are you?
Can't you deduce it?
Laura. He speaks for the trees.
Can't you deduce it by yourself?
Are you here for on behalf of the hunter god?
Oh, come on. You're smarter than that. You've proven it at least once.
Is your name Thomas Marvelo Riddle?
Have I seen him before?
No, you haven't. But there's confidence in his demeanor. Confidence that you'd associate with someone of either so much more levels than you in all of this, or literally something akin to either an avatar or a demigod talking to you.
Yeah. I beg to differ. This was highly avoidable.
Oh yeah, when humans are involved, it's usually avoidable. It's their greed, the fact that they can't settle for what they have, they can't be patient.
Yeah. They couldn't just let things,
you know,
stay the way they were.
They always sow the field, livestock. They want their grain to become wheat in a week.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you were supposed to. Sorry, you were supposed to laugh on that.
Yeah. But the thing is, it was also it was orchestrated by the hunter cult. I can see that it was inevitable in a way, but the hunter cult really helped it on its way.
Yes, of course. There's always influences. But every living creature, those who have souls, like humans or halflings or dragonborn, they all have the ability to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the ability to choose. And they chose this.
They did. They knew they were at least aware of what they were doing, and they chose to ignore it,
Yes.
at least.
They went for the easy path. The one that leads directly to everything you ever wanted at a very bad cost. Right then. Well, I just wanted to let you know you did a good thing. It's going to take a while before anything can be done with this here.
Yeah.
This
I
place,
hope the others see it.
This place would have become something really great. The grove growing here was exceptional. It would have changed everything for this island.
Yeah. I wish I could have seen it. Just
Oh,
once.
it was amazing. But if you're patient, you might actually see what will grow from this. You're well on your way to reaching a point where time will have a lesser effect on you. I'm hoping you will. That'll give you enough time to see what will happen of all this. Because you know nature. You can delay it, but you can't truly stop it. It will have been delayed by decades, maybe centuries, but eventually, those like you will find a way to re-energize enough of it so that not everything is lost. Just like a tree that has been struck by lightning or unceremoniously cut down by the axe of humans. New life can grow from it. It's not going to be the same, but new life can grow from it. Well then, that's going to be it
As
for
one
now.
of the
But I wanted
truths.
to show you our appreciation of everything you did. He takes the piece of straw in his mouth. And you realize when he takes it out, it's not exactly a piece of straw. It's more like a stalk of wheat, of the actual wheat plant. And there are all of these little seeds at the end of it. Here. He hands it to you.
I'll take it.
Don't worry, it's going to live in your mind when you wake up. But if you ever need a boost, just think about it. And it will give you a little bit of help. So what you've been given is something that audience once received. The form changes, but the effect is the same thing. I think it was called the Blossom of Faith.
Yes. Something
So
along those lines.
yeah, it's on D&D Beyond. So what it does is that all you have to do is think about it and it allows you to use one spell of any level that you have access to. Free. Completely free. You don't need...
Without having it prepared?
You have to... It has to be in your mind, but you won't need to use a spell slot to use it. It's just...
Okay.
You won't need spell components. You won't need spell slot to cast it. It's really just... Yeah.
Sweet. How many times can I use it? Is it?
It's once.
Okay.
You
A one-time.
Yeah. One-time free spell use of any level you have access to. And you can use it at whichever moment you want. So if you wait for long enough, yes, it could mean that you would have access to 2 casting of a 9th level spell. If I remember the object correctly.
I'm up to...
And just like any player of an RPG, you won't use it even after you're in the final boss.
Because I'll be like,
Well, what if he needs it for the
find a better
epilogue?
time.
Like, what if there's a secret ending boss that can only be unlocked if I don't use it?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if for none of y'all who have played a game like that, don't throw away shit.
There's a reason.
I don't care if the sword is broken.
There's a reason why there are chests everywhere in RPGs. It's for you to stash the used and broken bottles and the torn armor and keep
Just get an
everything.
I
inventory
wasn't
upgrade.
supposed to use all this carrying capacity. They wouldn't have given it to me.
Look, you never know when a letter that you received from an NPC is going to be used as toilet paper for another NPC. So hold on to it.
Although it did help me when I was playing Baldur's Gate 2, because I went through the entire game, and then I wanted to try a different character, and then I remembered that I put every single scroll I found during the game inside of a chest, so I simply imported the mage that I just created into that game. I went to that chest, took every scroll, and started the game again. So I started with everything, and as I was evolving, I could just, learn the spell, learn the spell, learn the spell, learn the spell. And I have a stupid amount of bottle of Fireball. Alright. And so with this, you wake up in the morning. Jorg. Well,
Yawn.
noon. Probably, let's see, it happened in the middle of the night. So, probably went to bed around, which means, you wake up roughly about noon, 1 p.m.
The hut is gone. Shit, it wasn't a dream.
I'm just holding some random seed and some guy stole all my money.
You look down, you realize there's some stitching in your side.
Yeah, we got the kidneys too.
I'll have to transform into a beast to filter my blood.
Oh, that's okay. You just have to polymorph someone into a leech. You're gonna be fine. I've been poisoned, Remy. I'm gonna transform you into a leech.
I believe the only leech in this room is you.
So what time is it in the day?
Probably somewhere between noon and 1 p.m.
Oh, okay. So if we're gonna do
Somewhere
the stuff
between
with the
noon.
pixies, so if we're gonna do the stuff with the pixies, we have to wait till the evening or dusk.
Well, to be honest, the equivalent of December, probably the same sort of uh, dusk and dawn time as you'd have in northern United States at that time. So you probably just have 4 hours to wait.
4 hours to wait. Okay.
If you take the time
So
of having a good meal, maybe 3.
all right.
Third brunch may be pushing it, but
Audience wakes up. He's like, I hope the now orphans are doing all right.
Fisher, from inside of you hear Terranad say, "Of course, they're with Tobiyashi."
I hope this doesn't fester into a hatred of druids for those guys, for all the orphans.
Well,
I mean, I don't. Probably not, seeing as it wasn't technically it wasn't druids that. Well, I guess it was
Sure.
if the hunter cult druids.
look,
I
so
guess.
long as none of them are 8-year-old young boys who happen to be the son of billionaires, it's like they're not going to do anything crazy like lean into technology for the rest of their lives.
Become
That's
I would
good.
be
I'm glad we don't have
honest.
to worry about that.
I think it depends on how Toby presents it to them. That's kind of up to him now. Hopefully, he does a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of the story, kids, is that the dragon killed your parents.
Yeah.
Probably something like that is what's happening.
Yeah.
All right.
Next thing you
I
know, there's
guess-
an army of children with dragon slayer swords.
Let's go.
And one of them fully adopt the way of the artificer.
All right, let's go see the damage, I guess, since we have 4 hours to kill anyway. I mean, we kind of saw the damage, but let's go see the aftermath of.
Mm-hmm. Also,
Yep.
I want to dig up another pole.
Yeah, we could also do that
That would be a good idea.
if the poles still exist, haven't been destroyed by. We should definitely try and bring a pole back to the garden if we can, though, or at least
Yeah.
call maybe the garden and say, have one of them come collect a pole.
Yeah, that's more what I was
Since-
thinking.
We can't really bring a pole to them
Yeah.
since they're quite heavy.
Mark the location.
They might also have a better chance of digging up the poles if we can get some people over here. I can also summon badgers or something to help dig up.
I think we can dig up a pole if a pole still has
Mhm.
survived.
I want to
So
go
Rudy
try
and
and dig one
chaotic.
up and see if they're still there.
Yeah.
I'm
right.
assuming they are because that didn't seem like that kind of
Oh.
magic. But
Well, I will. You say this, and Terranad sends you the image of something that you saw during the evening, where the huge creature struck the ground, and you saw the earth rise up as if it was a tsunami, and just kept going forward.
right. Well, we'll find whatever is left.
Yeah. That's why I said let's go check things out. See if there are any survivors, lol. Not actually.
Well, Jorg, you know the answer to that, but maybe it's better
Yeah.
if you let the audience discover it by himself.
Yeah. Well, Guardians, I'm sorry it went down this way.
I don't feel bad. I mean, while I don't necessarily agree with how extreme nature can be, I put as much blame on myself for this town's destruction. So I don't need your apology.
All right. If it means anything to you, I don't think um I don't think I think your religion wasn't so much a reason for things starting as a tool for the enemies to use.
Yeah, but they were
I think
still a tool that I created.
yeah.
I created a religion full of tools.
Dang. Happens to the best.
But they were supposed to be my tool. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's go check out the village.
So, you go down to. You get off the hill. You get down to where the town was, and yeah, that's where the village slowly growing into a town was. There are no sign, not even a piece of wood from one building left behind. It's just dirt. You see these thick roots everywhere that seems to have just bursted from the ground from these specific points, and your memory sort of goes back to when those few survivors that survived the tsunami of Earth tried to crawl out of everything that was happening, and how they just started to glow and they bursted into all of these vines that started to spread everywhere. So that's what's everywhere. Thick roots, vines. It sort of makes you feel like an abandoned vineyard where no one would have been there to try and help the vines grow on their supports. They just started to grow rampant everywhere.
I'd be very nervous to drink any wine from this place right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
Soylent Green is people,
Secret is in the sauce.
but I'll never tell.
Alright.
If you didn't know, you'd probably guess that the people just haven't arrived yet. They're about to settle the place. It kind of looks fertile, even with the little bit of snow that fell during the beginning of the day. That's everywhere. Kind of looks like a place where it would be a good idea to start a village. Then the memory comes back, and you know, okay, maybe not right now, but one day.
Seems like maybe that's why they started a village here. Such a nice place for a village.
Yeah. Okay.
We should murder the fuck out of the hunter cult for this.
I think we're gonna do that for a lot of
Yeah.
reasons. But you know,
Mhm.
we can add it
Well-
to the list.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
I'm pretty sure that at some point you're going to decide to make a full-on attack to their headquarters and try and kill, uproot, destroy this organization. Otherwise, I have a stack of 10 pages of history that's not going to be used. I mean, you'd be missing out on something.
I do think, yeah, although we told what the assault would be a lot, because their, like, thing of vengeance is, like, guarding the, I was told that, yeah, like a frontal, like, I can't send as many ships as I would want. But
Depending.
I have to go back and, like, I
I was
was a little-
specifically talking
confused.
about the assault on the
Yeah.
in the Misty Isles.
Yeah, on the Yes, on the
Not-
Misty Isles,
Yeah, not on. the
which isn't.
Hunter.
Yeah, not the Hunter cult.
Although there is a chance, right now you're not sure, but there is a chance that there might be the Predator guarding their headquarters. So also may be difficult to make a full frontal assault, but not for the same reason.
Well, you know, some religions have more predators than others.
I'm not sure that's a good subject to get into right now.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's,
Well, of course, I'm talking about the religion of the world, you know. There are religions from the northern part of the world, from the southern part of the world. These island chains are really, really good to make little pockets of...
I'm gonna cast locate object on
Okay.
a pillar, and that lets us beeline to where one might be or have been tossed.
Okay, okay. You try and detect the object, and it's difficult. Not a lot comes back, at least for the first time that you cast it. Then you sort of realize, oh yeah, there was this huge tsunami of Earth. Maybe they've been pushed back to a different location. They could have been pushed, just like any object in the ocean. They could have been pushed a different place. So is that a normal spell casting, or is it a ritual spell casting?
It is a no. I believe it's not a ritual. It's just
Okay.
yeah. It's just a second level spell.
Okay. So, how many times are you willing to cast this?
Last 10 minutes and finds anything within 1,000 feet.
Okay, okay, and
I guess enough times, really,
enough times.
to at least, and really until the point we kind of cover the majority of the town, I guess.
okay. Did you leave Terry in his box, or did you take him out?
I'd probably take him back out.
Okay.
I would have put him in when we were waiting and like through the night and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd probably take him back out.
Well, in that case, Terry would probably offer to give you the ability to fly,
Whoa.
Hell yeah.
because
Let's
he
go.
has the fly spell. So while he's concentrating on that, you're concentrating on locate object.
Did Terry just replace all of us as Remy's favorite new person? How can-
Yeah, just take off. Suck it, Ramy.
It's like slowly draws back an arrow.
All of a sudden, just gets shot out of the sky.
It's like, where did that come from? Just a shake in the bushes.
And then you hear Terry, you go, huh, we're being fired on. Do you want me to fire back with disintegration? Oops. Hide well, hide
Go-
well.
Like it goes into another plane of existence.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Can Terry see through plane of existence? I never thought about it. But that's a subject for another day, because I'm pretty sure that Remy doesn't actually fire on Fisher or Terry. Or maybe he fires on Fisher, but not Terry.
No, he's got to keep an arrow cocked for when Jorg steps out of line.
Yeah.
You mean when he looks at Fisher flying away and he says, "Oh, come on, Remy, let's go," and he transforms into a bird and you just fire on him, just like you did with the druid, you little. Yeah.
I could polymorph Raimi. If he wanted.
Okay, so he's only allowed to fly if he's as stupid as a bird.
No, only that's the only way Jorg can make him fly.
All right, what do we find?
So, flying around, noticing that you're losing a few points with Remy as you're just zipping by him once or twice while you're trying to look around for these pillars. It takes a little bit of time, but depending on how you roll with perception, it might be before your spell end.
Right. $18.
18. All right. Oh, that's good. That's good. So you look around and you see how the field has moved a little bit, trying to figure out where this could probably be. It gives you a sort of a vibe of trying to find a shipwreck in the ocean, something that happened a few times in your past, and those memories come back. And oh yeah, okay. I think I know how we do this. Just looking around. Nearly at the end of the spell, you manage to catch something off of the very edge of where you're flying. It's a bit of a way out of the village, but there's one. It's still underground, but much closer to the ground level. And it feels like its orientation has been changed. But you managed to find something.
I will I guess fly down and or I guess I'll do I have I guess we'll make note of the spot and then fly back to everybody else.
Okay.
Found one. Get over here, slowpokes, and then I'll fly back. I'll wait for them.
I'm wondering. Is it? Oh, come on. Here you go. Okay, yeah. So we got. Well, if you want, Terry can upcast it and cast it on nearly everyone. No, on everyone. It's gonna be he's gonna be using a 6th level spell, but for every level, every upcast level, he can target an additional person.
Mm.
Nah, they can walk.
I can turn into something. Let's turn into
It's not really that
a bird.
far. Is it like really hard to get through terrain?
No, it's
No?
flat
All right.
terrain. And if you wanted to sprint on it, maybe it would be slightly risky, but walking over it, no, that's not even difficult terrain.
All right, then. Yeah. They can walk.
I think you see Remy's disappointment when you say this. Because Remy's the only other one who can actually read what Terry just showed you as he was speaking. I can make everyone fly if you want. You see Remy go, and then Fisher's, nah, everyone can walk. It's not that far. You take him
Well,
off.
then fine. Ramey's just gonna double dash 90 feet every 6 seconds just to out of spite.
So Remy gets there first, and then I has to wait for everyone else. Only a question of a few minutes. You catch back to where this piece of metal is supposed to be. So, Jorg, you can either summon an army of badgers or you can become a badger yourself.
I will summon an army of badgers this time. Seems
All right, they all look at you expectantly. They want to know what you want them to do.
I need you all to dig up a big metal thing.
Okay. They all start digging, and you see all these little badgers. So, if I'm not mistaken, the spell will allow you to summon. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, I know I have it. Here we go. Here we go. So it can go up to 8, because I think their CR
They're
is really low.
1/4. Yeah. I probably won't. I'll summon like 3. I don't think we need 8 giant badgers. Well, maybe we will for pulling it up. So I'll summon all 8 and just send a few down at a time to dig. And then I'll have. Wait, is Toby? Toby's not here.
No, Toby actually went to help some children cope with losing their entire family, because he has a bit of a history finding himself an orphan, and he's taking them all to a monastery where they can all become monks, whether they want to or not.
It'd be so useful. I need
that's
harnesses
the
for the
story.
badgers. Yeah.
Are you saying that you find having children working for you digging is useful?
No.
I'm
saying-
yearn for the mines.
No.
Alright. So, giant badgers, a 4th. I think that means you can summon 4 with a spell. But if you upcast it, you'll be able to summon more.
Oh, right. They have the weird new conjure that appears a large pack of spectral intangible animals. I've Summon Beast. Okay, there it
it's
is.
Conjure.
Conjure animals.
Yeah. I
Conjure
wrote,
animals.
I wrote summon animal and nothing was coming up, but it's conjure animals. So
Yeah,
you
but
can-
then I have the wrong. I have the new. Oops.
It's okay, I have it here.
edition.
When you cast the spell using a higher spell slot, so you can summon 8 giant badgers right now. If you cast it at level 5, you can summon 16 giant badgers.
I will summon 8. I do not need 16.
Why?
That would be
Isn't it
too
fun
many
having
giant
16
badgers.
giant badger just plowing the field for you?
It is fun. It would be fun to have 16 giant badgers.
That'd be a very weird 12 days of Christmas, or I guess 16 days of Christmas.
16 giant badgers.
I've run
That's
out
when-
of birds.
That's why they stopped doing it. They stopped at 12. They're like, all right, 16 giant badgers is a little bit too much. We're just going to go to 12 and call it good.
Oh no, the only 12 days of Christmas that I've learned by heart is the one that StarCraft made. So
There's the one about chicken curry.
I don't know that one. But I really like the Archon in the StarCraft one because unlike the other one, he just keeps complaining about everything that's happening. I hate all this singing. I think it's on the 11th day of Christmas. You hear the Archon say, I hate all this singing. Or instead of hearing 7 Zerglings swarming, you just hear all the Zergling go. So, takes a while, but you manage to dig up this thing. You see those badgers just starting to plow the field. Suddenly, the field goes from being prepared for the next sowing to slowly being transformed into a crater as they all push the dirt outward. It takes a few minutes, but they manage to make a decent pile of dirt everywhere around, and eventually you see the top of this iron rod. It's no longer facing upward. It seems to be at an angle, and nothing's glowing on it. As a matter of fact, you look at it and it looks more like a twisted piece of metal than a fine magical object.
All right. I will. Could I tell if it's like still magical, or would I have to like cast detect magic?
From the appearance, I'd let you roll an Arcana roll.
Alright. That's not good. 12, 16 with Terran, so
Oh boy. So you look at this,
A little before.
it just looked like a twisted piece of metal, and then you hear from inside of you, You really need to get your eyes adjusted. Maybe they should just be replaced with beads of glasses. You might actually see better like this. What the knowledge of Terranad adds to what you're looking at, 16 is enough. My goal was 15. So you look at this. This is why for you it just looks like a twisted piece of metal, but Terranad can give you a little bit more precision. It looks like a single-use object that has used its charge and now is completely and totally inert.
Uh huh. Do I feel like I could, like, does it seem like there's anything left to, does it still have, like, the remnants of
I mean, yeah,
stuff, I guess?
there are. You can still, looking carefully, you can still see some of the runes that were on it. And if there's any inherent magical properties to the metal, a metallurgist or a mage could probably be able to identify it. In D&D mechanics, it's more like if you bring that back and they find the one that you teleported out, the DC to reverse engineer it would be lowered.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only help it's going to give.
Yeah. Okay. Dang. And I could assume that the other posts are going to be similar.
This is why you took a lot of time. You're guessing that because the piece of metal.
This is the only one close enough to the surface.
This is the only one that pinged. So either the others have been shoved very far away, or judging by how beat up this piece of metal looks, maybe it's the only one who might have survived. Maybe there's another one somewhere, but it's very possible that these pieces of metal have been destroyed by whatever was reformatting the land, and now they have been reduced to an iron-rich soil.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well then,
Might actually be interesting if you want to collect bog iron. For druids, it's interesting, but for most people, it's low quality iron.
mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, guys, it seems like these were built for a one-off, so they're kind of empty and scrapped, but the guarded would probably still be kind of interested in it, so I guess I'll give them a call.
You're muted, Sam.
So the only one that might still retain magic is the one I sent away.
Yeah.
Most likely because it wasn't there, so it has a high
wouldn't
chance
have-
of not having been
yeah.
triggered.
But studying this might make it easier to crack the other one.
Fair
If
enough.
Somebody can also find that.
All right. You mark the location. You call the garden. Someone will come along and try to collect it. Sierra has a brief moment where she says, "Ah, that's good. Everyone is fine. I only had a brief debriefing of the situation. Connie was not exactly very vocal about this, and Sarn is unconscious in the infirmary. Don't worry, he's gonna be fine. It's
All right,
just extreme
cool.
exhaustion.
Yeah, that was tense. But we're good.
Well then, is there anything else you would like from us?
Um, I don't think so. Right, guys? If they
Yeah, no.
sending someone to come study this, and then did we put up the quest to go find the other one?
Yes, I have already placed that order in your board quest, and I have contacted Luffy in case he wants to help more directly. And then Nirsa, although I'm guessing it's well, actually that might actually be interesting. We'll see who answers.
Okay.
Might I suggest, if you want something to be done quickly, you could also always try to do it yourself. If I understand things correctly, you sort of have a relationship with someone who is very good at divining things.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Somewhat.
Somewhat in the have a relationship with department, or in the
Have a good relationship.
yeah. Okay.
Actually, somewhat with multiple people who are good at dividing things.
I prepared
Well,
divination.
one of them is angry at you, but the other, you've actually asked something of her, so it's a better relationship.
You know what they say, you can't get one, go for the sister. I mean, oh god, sorry, I don't know where that came from.
I've just heard a wave of women around the world screaming out.
Well, once upon a time, it's like if your sister-in-law's husband died, then next in line to receive her would have been their brother-in-law.
Not in all culture. Only in a few places in the world that would have worked. All right. So, Sierra hangs up. You've been doing this for probably an hour and a half. The sun is slowly starting to set. You're estimating that it's probably going to take maybe another hour and a half before you have a window to try and call out to the.
Yeah. I guess we should probably check on that area before we call them out, just make sure it's stable after the magic surge. I mean, I assume it is because it's out of this realm, but we should probably head back there.
To
the area. Well, I guess we can call the sprites anywhere, but I meant the area where we're going to show them that's like out of time, or the area that's damaged.
oh yeah. Yeah. I guess we should go try and find that place again.
All right.
Now that we don't have any landmarks.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, We know it was like basically the center of the village. So the center of this area is somewhere in there. That general vicinity.
The grove was outside of the village.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need to look for it. We should probably go. Shows audience memory of where things were.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those weird situations where you probably would all have the reflex of turning around to Remy because he has a photographic memory of the area, but Remy is in sort of this weird place where well, it's not the same picture now.
So just overlay one picture over the other. I actually don't know if your mind can do that.
You can't. He'd have to make the picture of one and the picture of the other and physically try them because that's part of what happened. Can't you have had their imagination surgically removed by a god?
Yeah.
So he can do it, but he can't imagine it.
All right.
But if you have more than one person with
It's okay.
minor
I haven't made a roll
illusion.
yet this session. I'm just gonna roll an easy nat 20 on investigation right now and just be able to
Do
find
it.
it. Yeah.
Do it.
Watch this. Watch this. Audience knows exactly where he's going.
I have
With
strength
a 9.
So you see audience looking confidently in a direction, saying, I know where we're going. We're going that way. I'm sure of it. I'll allow you to make a perception roll, Remy.
I hear that, and then I turn to Remy and go, "Okay, where are we going?"
Audience is pointing where he said, back to the center of town.
So Raby is pointing in the direction of a 26.
Of a
I
26.
got a 14.
You sort of
so I know
see-
audience is wrong, but I still don't know where I'm going. So I
You sort of see audience pointing in a direction, and then you have that moment of.
I rolled a 4, so I'm fully on board. I'm like, yeah. I think
Now there's
audience
an
knows what
argument
he's talking
starting.
about.
Audience says it's in that direction, and Jorg says he agrees. Remy says it's in the opposite direction. So now we have Fisher who needs to figure out where you should all go.
y'all can get lost. I'm gonna follow Ramy.
Audience goes, honestly, I was confident,
Yeah.
and Jorg, thanks for backing me, but I'm gonna be realistic.
Yeah.
I think Remy's usually more right in these situations.
I have to agree with you on that one. We gave it a good shot, though.
We did.
Yeah, it's the confident in audience's voice,
Mm-hmm.
It just helps so much.
Yeah, you just fell to my plus 11 persuasion that I now have.
Until you make it.
So what you're saying is that you have a passive persuasion of 21? And up until now, you've never been able to have a second conversation with any woman?
Listen, I just leveled up, okay? I just got my charisma up to 16.
Okay.
It's a slow growth.
Mm-hmm. It's called a character arc.
Audience's goal
time.
by the end of the campaign is to seduce a woman by himself. All right. It takes a little while because Remy, it's sort of navigating in uncertain circumstances, but you're pretty sure of the direction you're going simply by the fact that, oh yeah, sun is setting in that direction, and the grove was in that direction next to the sun. All right, pretty sure it's that way. So, Takes a few more minutes, and then you arrive once again in that place which feels so odd. As you're walking, it feels like your step have no impact on the ground. It's if you touch a blade of grass, it feels like you need to push on it for it to move. It doesn't require anything. It's as if the potential of anything, the step that you're taking, the sound that's supposed to come out, everything has been dulled. That tells you, all right, I think we're in the right place.
Mhm.
Even
Play around in it for a bit until
even Remy's coughing, so that he sort of signals to everyone that we found the right place, because the audience was kept on going for a brief moment. Just bring him back. Just go. There's something missing in the cough. Instead of hearing, you hear as if the air hadn't been properly pushed out of Remy's lungs. Even you have that moment of, oh, that's weird.
I spend like 30 seconds like playing around / experimenting with it, and then I'm like, nah, this is freaking me out. Go back outside.
You know, you take a moment and
This is too weird.
you make a snowball and you throw it behind Jorg's back, and instead of just going, it just go.
Has the snow started to melt? Or is
The
it
temperature that is the ambient? Oh, let's see, what kind of temperature is it today? Unseasonably cold. Then no. Oh, it's even worse. Oh God, that's why it's freaking you out when you're there. Because I just rolled for the temperature where you are right now. Even the wind seems to have lost its potential in this place. So for the first time since you've been on this island, there's no wind. You step away a bit, and then you start feeling the wind once again. Ah, oh, damn it.
Alright.
Then you have that memory that comes back from a little while ago when you helped the mage throw people inside of a gem, saying at the at the end of the event, you've defied the laws of the world for the first time. How do you feel about it? And then you look at this, it's, oh man, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it feels weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyone else wants to play around with this weird temporal potential space continuum problem?
I mean, Rami already played with it the last time.
Mm-hmm.
I think so did audience.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna wait for the experts to deal with this shit.
Okay. You wait around for the sun to start setting. It's a bit long. And you have to admit, you know, Remy, you're more used to this type of weather. It's a beautiful beginning of winter, but your feet are getting cold because you've been walking in snow for the past 3 hours.
Yeah.
But you're part bird, so also you have pretty good circulation in there, and your feet can go down pretty low before they break off. So, yeah. But you're feeling it a little bit.
Ah, jeez.
You're feeling it a little bit. So,
Are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs?
so it takes a little bit of time, but the sun starts to set, and you reach that moment where the sun goes over the horizon, but there are still colors in the sky from the sun that is not too far away from the horizon. And this is perfect moment for a in-between moment, right at the end of the day and right at the beginning of the night. So,
We figure out we just need to like call out to him, right? That was the.
Swipe or
Yeah.
no swiping?
Yep.
Swipe or
Call
no
out.
swipe.
Yep. Call out to them at the time of dusk.
all right, how do you call out to them?
I'm trying to remember the caretakers.
Mhm.
Or what they called themselves.
Well, Remy would remember that the last one you saw was extremely annoyed by Tobiyashi trying to force a name on them.
Ah.
Oh, Pouchy!
Yeah.
So how do you call out to them?
Uh,
Guardians of this world between time. We seek your help and answers, for we have found a damaged spot, and we seek your help in fixing it.
So Fisher,
what he said.
what if there's something that you'd like to modify in what audience just said.
Uh,
You sort of added a precision to what audience said that I'm wondering if you gonna add it to what he just said or you're gonna let it slide by. You just called out to the guardians of this world.
I guess specifically the caretakers be found in moments of change
Okay.
to fix things that are broken.
Takes a moment, you look around, you've just summoned them. You have this brief moment where you're wondering if you said something wrong. Just nothing's happening. You see the last remaining light of the sun disappearing on the horizon. And then you hear, "Oh, good Lord. Did you do that?"
No, we found it though. Which is
You all
why-
turn around to this small creature that's standing between all of you. Just looking at a place hanging in the air. Oh. That's bad. So, how did you find this?
This specifically, this spot was where the grove was, correct?
Yes, it's where the heart of the grove was.
Uh, well, this used to be the heart of a druid grove, but the druids were basically murdered, and then the grove was sacked and
Oh, that's
corrupted slash mined, I guess, for its resources.
yeah.
And then a nature god recently came in and wiped it out.
Yeah, no, don't really care about that. That's something else, though. Oh, he looks at the ground for a brief moment. You see him tap on the ground with his foot. Oh, yeah, no, something's missing. Oh, it's gonna take a while to repair that. Okay, well, fortunately, druids are gonna be here to pour energy into this, but we might have to go salvage fuel elements from other points on the world. That's a nasty piece that's been taken out. How do they do that? Do you know? He
Uh,
looks at all of you one by one.
we were kind of hoping you could help answer that question. Quick DM question though.
Yeah.
Did we, because we just noticed it that yesterday technically, but correct me if I'm wrong, Jorg and I found the heart of the grove earlier on and it wasn't like this? Or was that a different spot? Or did we not notice it?
You did not notice it.
Okay.
You did not notice the effect, the physical effect around it.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of, I guess, part of the other half of the reason that we called Two Cares. We're hoping you would
Okay.
have some idea.
Um,
They were casting a spell. They had all of these magical holes that kind of made like a cage around the town that might have something to do with it, but I don't know.
I don't see how. I mean, yes, you can easily see that the energy from this place was forcibly altered, pushed in a direction it shouldn't have gone, but that just leaves trace marks. It's not something that's gonna leave a lasting mark, but this is a wound in the fabric of your world. That's different. Something was taken out. It would take someone who knew exactly what could be found in here, because it's very specific arcane knowledge that you'd need. It's and even more specific equipment. Someone's been preparing for a long while to do this. It's not something that you can get done within a few days. It's someone's been preparing for months.
What was taken? Like, what is actually missing here?
How do I explain this in a way you can understand it? It's it's something that helps with the potential of things. it gives it weight. It gives it the possibility to become something. Um, how can I explain it in terms you can understand this? Uh, oh, right. He looks at you for a brief moment, Fisher. Yeah, I guess you'd probably be the one to talk more about this. Although, and he looks at you, Remy, you might have a feel that might also have a clue of what I'm talking about. Um, when gnomes make certain objects, they use these little coils of really resilient metal. You know, you can just twist them and it stores energy into it. And if you release it, there is an amount of energy that's been stored into that coil. Um, it's just going to be pushed outward, creating usually a very explosive reaction, although not explosive in a term that they like it. Um, for outside of context, Fisher and Remy, you get the feeling that he's talking about a some sort of spring, a mechanical spring, something that you twist and it would accumulate the energy inside of it. So, what happens with these elements is that they can store the potential of a moment and release it. Usually, it's something that happened naturally. In this here, nature, the flows of energy would be harnessed for a little while, and something like this would harness just a little bit more, which would give greater potential for something to become more, because there's this latent energy that's continuously being harnessed. But if you remove it, then the potential of something stops. It can't be expressed. This is why, and he takes a rock and let it fall, and it falls to the ground and there's no reaction. This is why the dust doesn't lift. This is why the blades of grass don't move. The pieces which are meant to take the potential of what's happened and release it have been taken out of this place. It's going to affect the entire area. It's going to stagnate for a while we find a way to repair it. But this is what it does. It's something that takes the potential of a moment and releases it when it's stronger. So it's something that you can use to store the potential of a moment. Something in your world that can have effect like this is, for example, if someone gives a speech. I'm sure one of you has at least tried once, and he looks at the audience briefly when he says that, to give a speech, and everything seems to have fallen flat. Nothing happened. Well, that's because you weren't able to harness the power of that little thing inside of you, and so everything fell flat. But if you have this and you can trigger it, you can harness the potential of a single moment and keep it loaded, and then release it at another point. It happens everywhere, at any moments, these things. I mean, it probably is something that's happening with the four of you. And he looks at you twice, Fisher. The six of you. There was a brief moment where he looked at Terry, and then he looked at Terranad. It's easy to see that you have something to do in this world. Your world is gathering energy for something. And you're the answer. But if you fail, that energy is only going to be partially lost. This is why if you fail, someone else will most likely try to be there after. Everyone always says that time is resilient, but it's not actually accurate. It's the energy under it that is still there. This is why if you fail, another group will most likely come, but it's not going to be the best group to achieve that effect. You are the best group to achieve that effect. But if something happens, then someone else will take your place. Not as good, not as powerful, but someone else will. And this is why time feels resilient, because whenever you try and change it, it just takes out one variable and replace it with another one. Not as good, but the potential still is mostly there. And this is what was taken out here. The ability to play with that potential. So whoever has taken it has just availed itself with the ability to store the potential of a single moment and release it when they feel it is appropriate. And there's not
So
going
did
to be
they?
there's not going to be a replacement for this here now, because it's gone. Unlike something for you, which you all represent one of those things, your group altogether. You can't take out that, but this here was taken out.
So did they get something that will now let them take the potential of a moment, or did they take the potential from this moment?
No, it definitely is what is beneath the surface. So they have gained the ability to take the potential of a moment. I don't know if they know how to use it well, which means it may only be the potential of a single moment, and then they're going to break that thing because they don't know how to use it. But it could be potential of multiple moments as well. It depends on their level of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And that's bad. Right.
Well, it's bad for the area here, but I don't know for you personally if it's bad or not.
Just really wanted to win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna ask this question off table. Does anyone here realize what that means? If you don't, if none of you do, I will allow one of you to make an investigation roll. Because you have enough things that you know that will allow you to figure out what that's all about. But if you actually figured it out on your own, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you say it when you feel it is appropriate.
I mean, temporally speaking, they might have already used it.
Okay. I hear a notebook being flipped frantically. Hold on. We got something here. Why can't I see it? All right, well, that's up to you. If you want a clue, someone make an investigation roll. You can't get assisted, so one of you has to decide who. But if you don't want any clue, then keep on going. Well, actually, we're going to go to the break.
Can I assist myself with a spell?
Yes, that is possible. That would represent you trying to figure it out.
All right. I'll cast enhance ability by going as I try and frickin' remember it. That gives me advantage. 23.
Okay. One phrase comes to your mind. Single one. The will of an unbreakable mind.
So could they have captured the will of the entity, the nature entity that just obliterated the village?
You don't know, but they definitely just got what they needed to capture the will of an unbreakable mind.
Mm-hmm.
Was it used? Was it not used? There's no way for you to tell.
But
Is a god
Alright.
an unbreakable mind or just a really hard mind to break?
Mm-hmm.
Gods are on a different level than all of you, and they definitely can feel unbreakable, but from the perspective of a god, are gods unbreakable? Or is it something that only mortals can have? Their will may not be easily broken, unlike their body.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's definitely something there to the fact that gods, and this is one of the moments where you sort of have, you look around everyone and then you look at audience and you have, fuck you. There's a very good reason why gods take on champions. It's because they have something exceptional. Definitely a paladin qualifies as something exceptional. Now, you know that audience doesn't have an unbreakable mind because he's been influenced before, but it also means that mortals can have qualities that gods seek or may be jealous of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we stopped or slowed them down in getting the essence, but it seems like now they have the what they need to get the will.
Oh. That's not great.
What would
Well-
this thing? You're talking about it as if it's like a, a physical object.
To the caretaker, it is, but the caretaker takes a physical form only because you ask them to be there. Whenever they talk about things which are more conceptual in nature. They're trying to tell you of a concept that represent the energy that is there. But from your point of view, this may feel like a mote of energy or a complex pattern of swirling essence of the world. But to the caretaker, it is as objective as clockwork.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, it sounds like to me what they've actually done is they might have actually created the potential for an unbreakable mind to exist. Because if that energy represents a potential, then they have created a potential for the creation of an unbreakable mind.
So long as the energy in it is not released, yes, that is a valid vision of it, because you take away the moment where the mind would break. So they may have figured out a way to make anyone's will unbreakable, or take away the moment where an unbreakable mind would do something that has impact. Both visions are equally valid in this situation.
Essentially creating a paradox.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, obviously Raimi is not saying any of this, but
Yeah.
Remy looks at you for a brief moment, Fisher, and he makes the image of a clockwork clock. And you look at him and say, nah, I got no clue what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's probably what actually happened.
Stop being weird. Trying to think.
All right, do you want 15 minutes to think? Because we can go on break.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Marsh sounds. This time I'm going to make it easy on myself on the editing, and I'm not going to forget to change the background. Alright, see you back in 15 minutes. Goodbye. See you soon.
See you.
Hello, and we're back. Oh, you're just in time. But you're muted, I think.
Am I?
Yeah, that's okay. No.
Okay.
Couldn't hear the first one, that's why I thought you might have been muted. Alright.
Oh, yeah, I'm barely muted back.
Alright. Well, apparently Fisher is still trying to figure the whole thing out. You know, you just look at him, he's staring in the distance, just going... So while he's trying to figure this out, what is the rest of you doing? You have, for now at least, this caretaker with you. Any more questions that you want to ask him? Oh, we don't need the marsh sounds.
You wouldn't be that far off.
Well, it's a bit weird because there's snow outside, but yeah, usually ponds and marshes get a bit quieter at the end of the year like this. It's always funny when you think that frogs and toads, they just swim to the bottom of the pond and they freeze there. One of the rare creature who can actually cryo sleep. You ever seen a frog unfreeze?
It's pretty cool. But they just.
Slightly weird, also.
Oh.
I mean, in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Well, yeah, but let's just say that in this reality, in ours, it's a bit funnier because they keep trying to actually move, but half of their body is still frozen. But it's kind of amazing when you think about it that they can actually do that.
Mm-hmm. That sounds so freaky. Apparently, back in the old days, they used to think that that instead of flying south for the winter, birds would land on like a stalk of grass, like that was sticking up, and then it would droop into the water and then get frozen in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one funnier for you. It was in the journal. It was in the news, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Um, a flock of, I think it was ducks, ducks or geese. I'm not sure. They landed on a, very very shallow surface of water. It was essentially a field that water had accumulated on it because the ground was frozen. It didn't just disappear. It wasn't absorbed by the soil, so it stayed there on surface. So they all landed there and they stayed there. But when they tried to leave, the water had frozen. So you had on top of a field something like 40 ducks with their legs frozen in ice, having to wait until the sun rose so that it would melt the ice and they could leave.
That's that's awesome.
It was in the
Poor
newspaper
duck.
locally, and on top of that, what? A flock of ducks just got frozen like this, and everyone immediately gets the image of the ducks flying away with the with the ice, but that doesn't actually work.
Like ice blocks on their feet.
No, like cartoons, if enough duck
Yeah.
try to fly, they can actually rise with the patch
Oh,
of
just
ice.
all of
But
them.
no, that actually doesn't
Uh-huh.
work. But everyone thought about it. All right. So everyone was looking at the caretaker, not sure if they wanted to ask question. Since Fisher, you're back. Is there a question you'd like to ask with the caretaker before it goes back to its
Uh,
conceptual nature?
yeah, how do we take this ability from them or prevent them?
I imagine they would store it in something very receptive to energy. So they'd most likely have something like a gem on them or um, arcane touched mineral. I would imagine this is how they would try and transport it. Depending on their level of knowledge, this could be an object as small as my fist, and he raises his fist, and it's about maybe the size of an apple, small apple. Um,
Hmm.
but it could be all the way to the size of. He looks briefly to everyone, he looks at the audience, his head. It really depends on their knowledge of the situation and how this can be stored. Um,
And can we like maybe we take away their ability to get this, or is that did they just like did they learn how to do this, or did they grab something that will let them do it?
Well, that is an interesting question. Yes, of course, if they have sufficient arcane knowledge, they could probably try and figure out how this works and try and duplicate it. But once again, it comes back to the level of knowledge they have. If they do not have sufficient knowledge, I believe this would be the equivalent of what you would call a scroll. If you are good enough with arcane magics, you can learn the scroll. If you are not, then the scroll is the only casting you have.
All right. If how dangerous is this would this potential be to
Depending on how they
keep
want to.
stored or have or like release once it is stored or
Well, they definitely wanted to be able to store something with a lot of power because the grove around here was meant to grow to an impressive size with an impressive potential for great things. So, judging from that, I would say that any spell of a similar strength in this can easily be stored in this. But if you want to push it over its natural limit, its natural potential, then you can go much higher than this. Um, um, for Jorg's information, a similar spell to this would be Druid Grove, a level 6 spell. But this is its natural ability. Prepared properly, it can be pushed to greater strength. Just like everything in nature, you can push it beyond its normal use so long as you stop before its breaking point. You can store more and more and more. So once again, depending on their level of knowledge, it can have the potential of storing even the mightiest spell that you can actually create. So let me just end this possibility with this very disturbing idea. Some grove can grow to be so powerful that if you harvest their fruit, their single decade-long ripening fruit, it can grant a wish. Once again, I can't stress enough the importance of the level of knowledge of whom has it.
And also probably the time they have it, or the extent of time they have it.
Yes, of course. Even with lower potential, sufficient time can give you everything you need to learn to do more with something.
they specifically take the potential of what this grove could have been?
No, they only took what was necessary to focus the potential.
Alright.
But without this element, the grove cannot grow right now. Because its potential has nowhere to go.
Alright. Anybody else got questions?
I have one question, but it's not technically on the current topic. So any more on the current topic, I'll let go.
That was all I could think of.
Okay. And then, okay, so then I'll say, and then one last thing before we go, not on the current topic, but have you guys gotten any more information about the whereabouts or location of the guy who stole your time thing since we last talked to you? Track it down. Or his whereabouts or movements?
Yes. No, not specifically for him, but we have figured out a way to block the ability that he was abusing.
Oh, okay. Because I know you had mentioned, or we had mentioned a long time ago, that we had helped try and capture him, but obviously up until this point we haven't really had a way to counteract that ability, so it hasn't seemed feasible.
Well, the problem is that every time he used his stolen ability, he forced something that was not meant to be there, which made it easier for us to find it. But it remains a very powerful entity. And although we were able to cripple its ability to use what he stole, no, it has not been apprehended. It is, after all, something akin to what Warlock would use for patrons. Not quite a god, but still very dangerous for most people living here.
Mm-hmm. So would you have any further information about a feasible way or a possible way for us to capture it due to its dangers, even if its ability has been hampered?
Well, if you can figure out its name, we can easily make something to bind it.
Figure out its name. Okay.
Oh, that's why they were so cagey about the names.
Yeah. Okay, so we gotta figure out.
If you know the true name of something, it literally, in D&D term, it's weak, but it would be like imposing disadvantage on any saving throw to be controlled.
And it's not a nature entity. What entity would you say it's most connected to? Like type? Is it like? I'm trying to think like about what people or what libraries might have information on its name.
Oh. Frivolous entities like this. Probably the same place where fairies would be from. I'm not sure how you call it from your side.
Fae? Or is it more Fey in nature? So like looking at
Yes,
the Fey?
probably. But I don't know how you call that realm on your side. But yes, most likely, if you could find something like this. I mean, depending on where it is in its own evolution, you could maybe try divine, but I would most likely go toward the type of fairy, very powerful fairy, mind you.
Okay.
You see, guys, we already know its name. It's Mitsitspitalik.
God, I hope not. Man, I do not need to be dealing with alternate dimensional powers.
Well, there are shards in your universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you know his true name, you can instantly bind him. You just have to verbally spell it out loud.
Backwards. Yeah. Okay. Or verbally, yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's information we'll look for, and we'll contact you again once we have found it to see if we can get a binding agent going.
All right. Well, and he looks at a place, an empty place for you, but sort of can figure out, and he looks where the element was taken out of the fabric of your world. I have a lot to do.
Yes. We will leave you to it.
Thank you for bringing this up to us. How do we start this? And he turns around, and it's sort of a weird moment. He turns around, and it's like in a blink of an eye, he just... Okay.
It's like, where did I put my sewing needle?
All right. Well,
He went around the back of the universe to take a look at to take the panel off and see what's going on inside.
fortunately, it seems like our enemies have gained a powerful asset that will only grow stronger the longer they have it. But
That could. It's not a
It could.
promise. It's a possibility.
yeah, it could potentially grow stronger the longer they have it. So
Or
We'll
it
have
could
to-
blow up.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we could always remain
Let's
hopeful.
just assume it's gonna blow up and not worry about
Let's remain
doing anything
positive.
about it.
They're gonna try
Yeah.
to store a level 1 spell in it for testing, and it's gonna blow up. Let's remain
Or they're-
positive.
Or more likely, they would try a too high level spell too early and then overload its power. But
Oh yeah, they're gonna try to put 2 level 1 spells, but they activate at the same time.
Yeah, but it's two thunder waves going against each other, and then it.
So instead of making a level
Rush.
1 spell twice, it makes a level
Or
Alright.
it's actually
make a
2
level
command
11
spells.
spell.
One is a command to stand up, the other one is to sit down.
Mhm.
Alright. Are you guys ready to head
It's
back
a
to the garden?
paradox.
Are you guys ready to head back to the garden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I will teleport us to the portal outside Othanel.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta roll for that. Give me a second. I can't just do it.
Don't mess up.
100.
Ooh. I did mess up actually. That's
What
below
did
the
I just say?
that's
Oh,
below
shit.
the that's below the ratio. I needed to beat a 25. That's a 12.
Oh no.
Okay.
Which would be, I have to look now what that actually is though. If that's like a mishap or just a
So
Um,
with the
similar area.
similar.
Oh, wonderful.
It's like, we're going to the garden.
Well, it was technically I was going to the area outside of Portal, so maybe it'll just take us to a different area outside of Portal. But
Or maybe just a different random field.
Yeah.
So
Familiarity.
it depends on what you envisioned. So
Yeah.
I need to know exactly what you envisioned to decide.
I envisioned the basically looking at the portal, the area outside that portal, because I was just trying to teleport us to the nearest portal. So so that would be wherever the new portal was placed outside Othanel, whatever that area looks like behind the portal, looking at the portal. Which would be probably a wooded. My guess is a wooded area because that's kind of the landscape. Am I correct?
Actually, Othanel itself is middle of a flat field.
Okay, so probably just literally a flat field looking at a portal.
Yeah. All right. So looking at the portal outward. So what you had in your mind, is it what you see when you're about to enter the portal or just after exiting the portal?
Oh no, just before entering. So like that's why I said like
Okay.
because I was just trying to teleport us looking at the portal. So yeah, looking behind the portal, at the portal, flat field, or whatever other objects are there.
So essentially what you had in your mind is a large city in the distance, empty fields where there's probably growing stuff, and to your left, very far away, traces of a lake.
Yep. Now where do we end up?
We wind up back in Bounty's neck of the woods.
We wind up back in the Misty Isles. Somehow they had gotten a port, just like stuck there again. No.
Actually,
Motherfucker.
You thought of the train from the.
I did not think of the train. There was no train in my thoughts.
It, like that particular train of thought did not leave the station.
Yeah, there was no train in my thoughts.
Do I have the complete map? Is there I'm not saying that this is where you're going to reappear, but I want to know if there's a place that looks like this in the Misty Isles.
Single-handedly end the campaign with one roll.
I'm looking at the map right now, and no, there aren't.
Okay, good.
You're lucky, because if you actually had that first idea in mind, replacing the open field with a forest, you could have. But fortunately, there aren't forests very close to Othanel.
That's how we get back on the Misty Isles, guys, easily. I just get the perfect mishap by trying the teleport roll over and over and over again.
Or we wind up at the bottom of a volcano.
Yeah, well, 50-50. No.
All right, so you have this brief moment where you think about it. Any other effect? Do you feel anything that helps you figure out that you going to not exactly where you want to go?
I don't think so. I think the spell just goes off. I don't think I realized that I did poorly on the spell.
I mean, it could just very well be a Geigenelli sort of situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very familiar.
Yeah, okay. So, there's a brief moment where you see the world disappearing. Audience very confidently saying, "All right, everyone, gather up. We're teleporting to Othanel," and then the helm activates and everything starts changing, and everything reappears. And audience, you have audience and Fisher. you have that moment of, that's not where we're supposed to be. Remy, you have that moment of, I'm home.
Oh God.
It's a major
Whoa,
city
wait.
on your island chain.
Remy, you're not from this island chain, correct?
No, he's not. He's on an island chain slightly to the south.
Wonderful.
Well, luckily I have more charges. That was not my last charge of the day, so I can always just correct it. But we'll do. So I appear. I'm like, oh,
This
That's
doesn't
not-
look like.
yeah, that did not go correctly. Does anyone know where we are, or should I just teleport again? Was this like a fate guiding hand, or my spell going wrong?
Well, Remy, you'd know that you are close to one of the major city of your world, maybe half an hour of walk. A city similar in size to Otanel, but not the capital of your island chain. Your island chain being slightly older than the Mistal Island chain. So the capital is a bit bigger by 1 or 200 years of development. But it is a major city, roughly the same size as Otanel. And you sort of have that moment of, oh yeah, I remember this. People have just harvested. Oh man. They just had the festival with a lot of food in it. God damn.
Do we know if there was a portal? Because we could also just walk to the. If I don't know if a portal was placed at this on these islands, because I know the portals were placed near all major cities, but I don't know if that included the separate island chain.
Only if they needed to go there, but as far as you know, they didn't need to go there. You didn't envision a portal, you just envisioned the place where the portal was.
Yeah.
And
So
so.
I don't know if this city has a portal.
No, you don't. Well,
I mean, I don't even know yet where we are. Does anyone recognize this area?
Remy, you can probably recommend a very nice hotel in this large city. You've been there quite a few times.
Raimi will raise a talent hand and honestly, maybe even just minor illusion a map and just be like, eh.
Okay. Oh, we're in your like homeland, Remy?
Damn. You missed.
Yeah, I did miss. You're not wrong. Remy, anything you want to do here before we leave?
Well, you know, Remy, like I said,
Did Raimi get into your head?
Herasti is a very pleasant city, quite old, very interesting places to visit. You know, a very good inn in there, right next to a, you know, one a rare place when they actually cater to nobility's will. The closest thing that you'd get to a restaurant in that time and age. Incredible food. Maybe a bit pricey, but incredible food.
Like, I think the way he would describe it is like, not specifically, and like, nice place. Just gestures
place.
at the city.
I mean, I don't know if we want to take a vacation with everything happening.
Yeah, I think we're kind of.
Maybe we'll keep it in mind.
Now.
Yeah, keep it in mind.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll come back. Technically, I guess this is now a known location for me, so maybe I'll have a better chance of coming back in the future.
Raimi's going to pick up a rock and throw it in audience's direction.
All right, I'll try again, guys. I'll try and get us to Altanel this time.
If I
Sounds like...
if I remember correctly, it does help precision if you have something that is from that place,
Yeah.
like with a certain time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's try again. Let's try this again. Second charge
Which is-
of the day.
Which incidentally, if we haven't done that for like our home area yet, maybe we should.
All right, that'll do it. That's 53. That'll get us right on the mark.
you find yourself reappearing where you intended to be. Remy, that was nice. That was interesting. Your old stomping ground brought back a few interesting memories. And you sort of remember a dish that you like really a whole lot, and you sort of remember, oh yeah, the garden said that they can duplicate anything that we bring them. That was nice. And they did tell you all that food would be half price compared to your world. So, you could duplicate a really nice dish of that restaurant that you've known, and it would cost you half the price it actually costs.
And if we faked our way into being a chef or server there, we wouldn't even have to pay initially for the food the first time.
And then you just bring it all
It's
back
not like we're
down.
poor.
It's not like we're poor.
Like
We're
guys,
always poor.
like guys, we could get half off Costco hot dogs.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Okay, but also you say we're not
Dream.
poor, but you also don't know how much money I may have to spend on the future on certain objects. I feel very broke.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
are
that much is
preemptively
accounted
broke.
for.
I am preemptively broke.
Yeah, it's sort of like saying, oh, I got $2 million, but I'm thinking about buying a very large yacht.
Except the lot might be the difference in between all of us living and dying. So a little bit more important.
So it's a flying.
Well, if we ever find ourselves drowning in the middle of an ocean, like
Alright.
All right, so this time you're in
Yeah.
the right place. You have this brief moment of, okay, we're good.
We're good. Brief detour, guys. Luckily, I didn't roll below a 5. Then that would have been bad.
Yeah.
But we're okay. And I guess I'll walk through the portal to go back to the garden.
I feel like I should be more afraid every time you use that thing now.
Yes.
That was a taste. That was a taste now of the fear.
Just so
Been
that you
trusting
think about
audience with this.
Yeah. You guys don't realize every time I make this roll, I could derail the entire campaign.
Mm-hmm.
it.
I mean, I can think of one item that's a lot better at doing that, but
Yeah. Oh, there are better items at it, but technically.
So just so that you realize this, if audience ever think about Tobiyashi's monastery, the view that he has looking outward, because they're just above a line where cloud can form, all you can see is cloud in front of you. So if he thinks about that specific place,
Teleport
you
into
could
the skies.
teleport over the cloud cover. It's a similar area.
Which, to be fair, if Terry has flight up, we might be okay. But,
Or if I can turn into a big enough bird.
yeah, well, you'd be okay. Technically, all of us would be okay the first time I did it, because I still think we have those objects that we never use that give float.
Yeah, no,
Floating.
well, anyways,
That's
I've
a
once figured out how much time it would take you to fall from the cloud cover to the ground. You have time to cast it again before you reach the ground.
Yeah, I think we'd have some time, but it would actually be worse if we spawned like right over the edge of the cliff, so we had like less time on the rocks. Like,
So,
what?
would you like to look outside of one of the window of the garden and try and think about that place? Oh fuck! I just reappeared in space.
Yeah, the real issue is when my teleport helm somehow takes us to a separate like shard or dimension.
Yeah.
Well, at least the spell does say that it's a similar area on the same plane.
It does. No, that would have to be like a mishap. But
All right. So, because of what just happened, you step to the portal and you can't help but to have this little feeling of, is it going to be... Okay, it's the garden. Phew. Oh yeah, that's right. They're so much more reliable in audience's helmet.
Yeah, the moment that the garden portals get hacked, we're really in trouble.
Although for you, Jorg, it's probably a bag of feeling that you have when you enter the garden because of how heavily civilized it is, because of how artificial the entire structure is. You can't help but also to feel safe in this place. They do seem to have a respect for other worlds, and, you know, so far they've always been helpful, no matter what you ask of them.
I'm gonna go check on Sarn.
I
Oh
gonna-
yeah.
I am gonna go check my mailbox and tell the dragon that I finished the quest and can meet with her. Because I think my gift is ready.
Yes, it would be.
This place.
What about Jorg and
And
Remy?
I think I kind of want to go check on Sarn too. That's a good idea. A fellow druid.
As you go, I'll be like, "Oh, Jorg, I need you to give a message to Sarn."
Okay.
Yeah, just let him know that when Amial is about to die, I need him to sacrifice himself for her. It's very no, I'm kidding. I don't say that.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Very specifically wants you to know who he likes more.
Uh-huh.
There's gonna be a very specific time she's gonna be hurt, and I'm gonna need you to sack yourself for her. No,
Yeah. You're gonna jinx that vision, I feel like.
I know. Audience would not say that.
Yeah, I know.
That would have been interesting. I would have had a little bit of time to figure out how that would affect things, but
No.
all right. And what about Remy?
Oh.
What do you do, or who do you go with?
I mean, I don't think Ramey's thing is finished yet. I don't actually remember if there was like an in-game time frame for that or not.
Actually, it was just a few days.
Okay, no, then we just gone a while then.
Yeah, it would probably, if not ready, almost ready. Yeah, if not ready, almost ready. I'll say almost ready because of the last thing that you mentioned for the cloak. So I'd say probably almost ready, something like 1 or 2 days at most.
Yeah. Well, in which case, if there's still like a couple days in, then I think Ramey would probably actually check out to see if the jeweler has anything interesting.
Shiny rocks.
It's in his nature. You know, he can't help it. He goes there even if there's nothing new. He just likes watching the entire
He's
display.
got to get his fix.
I mean, look, if Ramey has the opportunity, he's definitely going to exchange the heavy metal coins that he owns for significantly lighter and prettier gems.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
But if some of those gems are prettier than others, then those get priority.
oh, that can be dangerous saying that to me.
As they should.
Yeah,
All right.
no.
Jorg has an early morning, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to bed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. Well,
but-
that's probably a good place where we can end the stream, or I can just do something about with those. So you said you wanted to go with to go see Sarn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I think I've got dog armor to pick up.
all right.
maybe.
So we'll do Sarn next episode. Sorry.
Doggy
Christian.
armor energized. Da, da,
I
da.
think I'm gonna also
Good night.
go to bed.
Bye. See you next time. All right, just so that we are at least at 3 hours, can probably do audience and Remy.
Yeah. I'll also go to bed.
Like, well,
See you guys next
Bye.
week.
Next episode. Bye.
Audience doesn't really need to roleplay anything. I'm just picking up my gift and then writing the letter to the Annie to basically be like, hey, we're good for that meeting.
All right. I'm just trying to at least make it a 3 hour even because we started 10 minutes late.
I would also see if there was a letter, because I sent the letter, or I had that assassin guy try and bring that letter with the deal I made with him to my rival, so I'd see if there's anything from her.
Okay. So.
Yeah. I'd also see if there's anything from that assassin guy about the deal I made with him. So there's a couple more things for me.
All right, so to summarize this, there's one letter to talk to your rival. There's... You want to know...
Well, there was a letter I already sent to talk to my rival.
Yeah. But you want to know if there's an answer to that?
Yeah, I want to know if there's an answer to that. Anything from the assassin guy who was bringing it about the deal I made to help him infiltrate the dragon cult, because I told him I would.
Okay, that's sort of the same bracket. But,
yeah, same bracket. And then the other stuff I'm just picking up the gift and letting Annie know that set up, I can set up a meeting, yeah.
All right, that's easy enough to do. So, okay. Well, you a bit disappointing, but you just have a confirmation of the that your letter has been delivered.
Okay.
So essentially, you have the word "sent" at the bottom of your text message.
She left me on red? There's no way, bro.
It's your rival, It's okay.
Can't believe it. I put my soul into that letter. No.
She most likely hates your soul, so that's okay. You understand, but you still feel a little,
Oh, hurts. Okay.
All right. Writing a letter to let Annie know that you are on your way to the mountain of her master, mistress, I should say.
Oh, I would double check the gift. I would make sure the gift wasn't, since the gnomes did build it, I would test the gift before bringing it. I would make sure the gift did what I wanted it to do, and I wasn't going to be like, hey, here's this cool gift, and then it was going to blow up as I tried to present it.
Okay.
I don't trust the gnomes that much.
All right. So it looks like when you take it, did you give a specific appearance for it?
I think
for the closed box, not the open one.
No, I don't think of the closed object I gave a specific.
Okay. So it looks like a small box wrapped in very soft nearly cloth-like paper. Um, with a bit of a dull red color. But when you stroke it, it seems to shimmer just slightly, just enough to notice it, but it doesn't last. So you sort of have that moment of, but it doesn't last. It just like dust, but shimmering dust. Um, and it's wrapped with what looked like a silk bow. Beautiful blue with silvery trims bow on it. So, okay. I mean, you're not sure about the color. It's supposed to go to a silver dragon, but all right. So far, it doesn't explode. That's a win. That's a win.
I would probably go to the forest to test it. So that else don't blow up on.
You hope.
Since it is making like a spring, or like a very like decadent, almost like oasis water source.
Yeah, no. It's supposed to be like a Zen pond.
Yeah.
So look around, find a place where, okay, there seems to be enough room everywhere, and you unfold it, and you have this brief moment of, as you pull the bow, and you just see it gently open, and then starts to unfold and unfold and unfold and unfold and unfold and unfold. You're taken back just a little bit because it seems to be a bit aggressive in how it unfolds, but nothing of it seems to be dangerous, at least so far. It overtakes where you are, and pleasant surprise is that it wraps around your foot, and as you just step away and try to step away, it just feels the steps where you were, and since you're stepping away on it, everything seems to work fine. So okay, they've at least considered possibilities of someone that may have been there that he's just gonna get no.
Yeah. They're not going to suddenly drown in the pond.
Yeah. Although there is that question of where you look at this unfold and say, how does it work if the pond unfolds on a person? Because the question does pop up in your mind. But it's lovely, it's fragrant, it's very exotic looking flowers, this little bridge that goes over this little pond, and there's even what looks like a miniature Zen garden with beautiful shimmering sand and a huge rock at the center of it.
Nice. All right, final test. I'm going to drink from the water since it's supposed to be a water source, and make sure that it doesn't like do bad things to me. That's just water, like I asked for.
You put your hand inside to just make a little cup with your hand, and you take it out and you put your face in it to drink, and then suddenly a hand comes in and it's weird. No, as in the creature, weird. No. It smells very fresh. Sort of like a mix between right after rain and morning dew. You drink it, and it is cooler than you expected, but not cold, not freezing cold, just a really cool type of water. Something that you'd expect maybe a bit more in altitude, or if the source of water was really, really close.
Yeah. So closer to like a mountain spring kind of flavor
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at it, it does feel like the lake, not the lake, the pond shimmers a little bit, and it does feel like it's shimmering more silvery shimmering than it should, but not to the point where it's unpleasant.
Unpleasant. Okay. And cool. Okay. Well, it seems good. The gnomes did it.
Can you make one last perception roll?
Sure. I can make a perception roll. 17.
Okay.
Very good for audience.
Well, he wants this to be perfect, so
Yeah, I do. I'm really focused on this one.
there's something that you didn't ask for that seems to be in there. There's a fish in the pond. A single fish.
Okay.
It has it's sort of, if you made a mix between a what's the name in English? um,
I'm gonna be honest, I would probably go back to ask about the fish because I want to make sure everything's good once I was done here. If I can't figure out if it's just
oh
not
yeah,
a
of
regular
course,
fish.
goldfish. Right. So a bit of a mix between a goldfish and a koi fish. You recognize
fish.
both
Okay.
elements of it, but it's just swimming very deep inside of the pond.
Okay. That's fine. I will go to put the pond away to make sure it actually gets put away. Or can be put away.
You find a little trigger on one of the arm of the bridge. It's a very fancy decoration, but one of them ends in a little circle, and there's a little depression that you can push, and there's a gentle chime that happens when you do this, which you feel is probably sort of a warning that the pond is about to refold.
Okay, I will make sure I go to a safe location. I'm not gonna test.
What happened if it folds on you?
Yeah, I'll assume that people will be smart enough to just not do that.
The chime rings for maybe 5 or 6 seconds around. And for some odd reason, the bridge is exactly 30 feet from the side. So
The poor 25-foot halflings.
oh no!
Or the gnomes.
Or the gnomes. They don't get to get out.
Whoa.
Or if anybody happened to be sleeping at the time, so they had to use half their movement to stand up.
Well, if they run, it's okay.
Not if they're exhausted.
And it all slowly folds back. It's sort of weird because as it folds and unfolds, it sort of brings back memory of watching those little books that children love so much that the image pop out. It sort of feels like this paper book folding back in as it's slowly pushing back. Interesting choice, but doesn't look dangerous at all. The tree folds in a weird way. You're wondering how the water inside of the pond managed to stick as it's folding like this. And it goes back to the side of a little box. And you even see the ribbon tying itself up at the end.
Very nice. Alright. and then I will go back to the gnomes because I want to ask about the fish to make sure they didn't put like some predatory like fish at the bottom,
All right.
or if they know anything about the fish. But yeah, that's what I do. I just walk back to see if, since they made it, like what the fish actually is. If I'm fine if it's just, but as long as it's not gonna like hurt someone.
And we have a new expression. Now, from now on, you can say, "What the fish?"
Yeah. I'm like, nope. Listen, I'm not taking any risks with this item. Okay, this is like, I need a good impression. Okay. Audience isn't normally this careful, but he needs there to be no issues.
Okay. All right. So you go to the those who made the pond. On your way, you see Remy. Oh, good look! He's staring in a window. He's window shopping in front of a gem store.
Yeah. Any nice gems, Remy?
Pretty.
Sparkles.
Actually, there's one gem, Remy, that come on, it really tearing yourself up in the inside, because it's a really pretty gem. But you know very well that if you buy it, you'll never want to sell it for money. So it's sort of not investing your money by doing this. But it's a really pretty gem. It looks like a ruby that inside seems to have another gem of a different color. There's the red, there's the pink, and the image of the gem inside looks like a star, and the ruby itself is more like your dice. I mean, how did they do this? You don't know. It's worth easily 50,000 gold. And you can understand why. I mean, you'd be able to sell that to anyone and probably get just slightly even more. But also, come on, anyone that likes to have a collection of gems, would you really want to sell this?
You see audience glance at it and be like, I wonder if my dragon ate that if I'd get 2 effects. And then keeps walking.
And then the dragon inside you, your eye object is thinking, I wonder if it would have 2 flavors if I ate it.
That's what I was thinking. Is that the same thing as jelly donuts?
Listen, I'm not spending 50,000 to find out.
So you leave Remy to his window shopping and looking at that gem and trying to make the decision, being torn by this. You make your way to the floor where there's all the gnomes, and of course, gnomes are always happy to see you arriving. They like all of you, all of the adventurers. You keep asking them to do stuff that are so impressive. You usually find someone to help you find someone responsible for this. You arrive at the desk of a... You never expected to find a gnome that actually looks that young. But if you were looking at her from a distance, you'd want to say, is that a 5-year-old little girl with ponytails? With pigtails? And then you get a little closer and okay, no, that's a gnome. That's a gnome. Whew, okay. She just
This
looks
is not a
at you
place
with...
for children, so that's good.
Well, you don't know gnomes all that well, I'd say.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a child gnome, but she looks at you with...
Yeah, I guess they still have res diamonds here.
she looks at you with really large eyes. And, hello! What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm just here to inquire. The order... Thank you for the order of the pond. It
Oh, you're
seemed
the
great.
pond guy.
I am the pond guy. I just had the one question. I don't believe part of my order included a fish. I don't mind it. I'm just wondering if it is literally just a fish or it is some added purpose magic, anything to it.
There's a fish in the pond?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Do you know who added the fish?
No?
How many people worked on the pond?
3. Hold on. I can probably. And she waves at a gnome and points at you. The gnome seems to acknowledge. He takes three other gnomes, and they all come. So this is the pond crew.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. You guys did a wonderful job. I'm just here to wonder about the fish in the pond and who added that and what its purpose is.
You hear the fish? The fish? Oh, a fish. Each one with a different voice.
Okay, I don't like that tone. Oh, a fish. So can we get some clarification on the fish? Remember, I'm giving this to a very powerful dragon I want to make a good impression on. If the fish causes a disturbance, that could cost me my life. So the fish is important.
Okay. Yes. The fish. Does it like to talk? Your dragon, not the fish.
My dragon, like the one I'm going to talk, like the one I'm going to go talk to.
Yeah. No, that it's for a dragon. This.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I have no idea if the dragon. I've never met her. This is my first time meeting her.
Oh. Okay. Well, it's a nice fish.
Okay, it's a nice fish.
Yes.
That's good.
It's a very nice fish.
It's a talking fish?
There's a strong chance.
Okay, but how did the fish... So I just need, like, it's fine. Again, it's a nice fish. If it's not going to hurt anyone, great. I just need, like, some... Like, where did this fish come from? Because, again, I'm presenting this, and I feel like she might, I don't want to also, like, have this interpretation of, hey, maybe you put a spy in my, like, mountain, or, hey, something to be misinterpreted. So I need to understand the fish so I can explain the gift correctly.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So we took the water from a shard that one of the adventurer brought back, a water realm, and I think at least it's a very, very strong chance that the fish is actually a water spirit.
Okay. So I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly good with the water spirit. It needs to not be a water spirit. You said it's a nice fish, though, so you can guarantee it's not a water spirit that's gonna start feasting on children.
I'm pretty sure no, because there weren't humans in that realm. So unless it's elemental children, I'm 99% sure that it's okay for children.
Okay. Does anyone here speak elemental?
You sort of have 25 hands around you just raising all at the same time. a number of gnomes.
I know you gnomes love testing. We're gonna do a little more testing. I'm gonna have one of you who can go speak elemental go talk to the fish. Figure out what its deal is.
After the initial 30 seconds of a talking fish, talking fish, yes, you're going to go talk to a fish. No, I want to go talk to... And after the initial 30 seconds of all this commotion, one of them said, oh, okay, I'll talk to the fish. I'll talk to the fish. So,
okay.
Do you know what elemental speech it has?
No, that's gonna be for you. I don't speak elemental. That's for you to figure out.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of dialect. You know, there's ocean, there's river, there's lake, fjord, ponds.
Why don't you try pond since we're in a pond?
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I didn't think about it. Okay.
Do you have like your gnomes? I know. Where's your testing area? I'm not going to ask if you have a testing area. Just where is your testing area?
For something like this, we're probably... Yes, I think I know where to go. And he looks down and said, hold on. I know it's somewhere around here. And he grabs something on the ground that doesn't look like he just grabbed air, and he starts pulling, and it opens a compartment on the floor, in the floor. It's down there. That's probably the best place, you know. We've been able to contain... well, that's probably not a good idea that I tell you what we contain. Come on. Let's go down there.
Yeah, okay. I don't think this fish is going to be on the level of anything like that. But let's... I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just going to assume from your tone that it's not going to be at that level of danger.
All right. And, of course, the space between the floor is much larger than what you anticipated. There's a small light that's being hanged in the middle of this area. Unfolds the entire thing. Looks down. Right, so where's the fish?
Alright. It's at the bottom of the pond. Go down there swimming.
It's at the bottom of the pond. I have to swim at the bottom of the pond. Oh, okay. He didn't tell me that.
I assume someone here can cast... It's a pretty low level spell. It's like an air bubble. I know my friend, it's like a level 2 spell. I assume one of you has the ability to cast that.
Probably. Probably. Takes a little bit of time. He goes up. He comes back. Well, no spell, but he has what looks like a little gummy bear. Have this, and he starts eating it.
All right. My eyes are on you. Go ahead. Go see what the fish is. What the fish wants, or what it's up to, or just make sure. You know what? Let it know what my plans are for it, and see how it feels about that, and if it's willing to kind of just be a fun fish at the bottom of a pond for like villagers and children, and potentially a dragon.
Okay. Goes down to the pond. Oh.
If it eats you, I'll get someone to res you.
Oh, okay, good, thank you. And he goes down. What's more disturbing, what he's doing, or the fact that he? It seems like it's not the first time.
Listen, audience knows that gnomes just die here all the time. He was just like, this is just accepted at this point. Like, this is probably the least dangerous thing being tested right now in like any testing area.
Well, at least in the last 30 days. He actually comes back pretty quick. Just a few minutes. And, oh, wow. Whew, that fish can talk your ears off. So it's a very talkative... Hold on. And he just grabs something in his mouth. Yeah. Might want to warn whomever is going to get this about this. We'll get to that at the end. Very talkative fish. It doesn't always come out. It prefers the bottom of the lake, of the pond. Yeah, that's right, pond. It prefers the bottom. It likes it there, and it's only going to be present sometime, because it likes to sleep a lot. So probably just warn that there's something sleeping at the bottom. So I'm pretty sure children don't have enough breath to go all the way down the pond and try and mess with maybe an adult might, or someone that has a spell might.
I'll let people know that there's a sleeping.
So it's very talkative. It's very sensitive about the topic of sushis. So try avoid that. You know what sushi is, right?
I don't know. If
You've never heard that name before. Oh, you've been on the ocean. All right, maybe.
I know cooked fish. Like, I don't know if it's
okay.
sushi
Well,
might
that's
not be a term I know.
it's raw fish.
Raw fish.
Yeah,
Okay.
raw fish.
I'll make sure that people don't discuss like the eating of fish.
Yeah. It's a bit sensitive. But it's essentially more of a water elemental. Something like between a water elemental and a fae that would have been smashed together. So this is why it has a shape, but it's also why it lives in water.
And it's chill with going and hanging out and being like in a pond that like villagers come to and a dragon comes to. It's good with all that.
So long as you don't try to fish it, or that you remain courteous when you talk to it. It likes polite people.
Okay, but it's willing to understand that if someone is by accidentally not polite, it's not just gonna like immediately jump to extreme violence. It's gonna just figure out other options.
As far as I can tell, you know about the cantrip gust.
Yeah, I do actually.
Like that, but with water. That's about as violent as it can get.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the fish. The fish can exist. I now also can correctly present the fish.
Oh, good.
You're good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. If you're really nice, it might try to give you something to eat. It only has things that are at the bottom of the pond to eat. So, also, if you can't digest rock, fish do eat rock. So, it's not a cake that it's giving you. It's an actual rock from the bottom of the lake.
Okay.
So if you can't eat it, maybe just say thank you. I'll eat it later.
Okay, so treat it somewhat like a child. Understand. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. And I will pack up the pond and head back up, because the fish is not dangerous. Or not. It wasn't some, like, trapped water elemental that was going to get me in trouble.
To be fair, it only had a 1 out of 20 chance that it was dangerous. And
okay.
it rolled it was a 15, so...
In which case, I would have gone and had to fight the fish. But it's okay. But
so with a 15, the worst that it can be is mildly mischievous.
that is fine.
All right.
All right. Cool. That's all I got for now.
All right.
My pod's ready to go, and I'm gonna go visit the dragon at some point.
All right,
So
so apparently next episode we're going to visit a dragon. Remy, you're inside of the jewelry store. You manage to find the courage to go inside, trying not to look at the stupidly pricey gem that you completely understand why it's pricey, but you prefer to say in your mind it's just a stupid gem because you know you're not going to want to sell it if you buy it. Has a the store has a very wide variety of gems of all types. If it's not magical, they have it. If you don't like the cut, they can make it for you for a ridiculously low price. Magical gems, those are worth more, and most of them are custom order, but a few of them are on display. You know, there's one that looks like a Legend of Zelda rupee, but it's completely clear, and it looks like there's a creature dancing in the middle of it. Maybe a fairy? You know?
Gosh, I was on mute. It's like, and every time you pick the rupee up, it's it makes a sound. Da 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 da.
And you know, there's this very gorgeous little fairy dancing in the middle of it. What were the colors? I think there was a red one and a blue one. The fairy. So yeah, magical gems. Most of them are more decorative than anything. But if your plan is to condense money, you know, if you buy a magical gem like this, even something that has a cosmetic enchantment on it, the price can vary depending on who you want to sell it to if you need money. So there's a small risk. But this being the garden, you can probably, with a little bit of effort, find someone who will give you a little bit more. But, you know, commercial wise, it's a lot of effort for a very small profit margin.
Well, yeah, it's as I said, like it's either for exchanges or if there happen to be any interesting gems besides the really obvious one he's trying not to think about.
Well, you know, there's another one that the moment that the store owner sees you entering, sort of has a wide smile that appears on his face. You just go, "Hey, it's my friend Remy. So back to look at gems."
Gives a talent up.
Yeah. I know. I've seen. So, as always, all of my gems are available to you. You can always exchange whatever you want, whatever type you want, whatever cut you want. I can make it all happen very easily. But I think I have this one little thing that you are absolutely gonna wanna have before you leave my store. It's a little pricey. It's 250 gold. But, and here's the special thing about it. If you put one gem of each of the color of the rainbow inside of it, all you need to do is stir a little bit and a rainbow's gonna come out of it.
The eyes sparkle.
I knew you'd be interested in it.
Now, if we lived in a world of memes, there would be, like that picture of like Fry with the image "Take my money," shut up and take my money.
So it's entirely cosmetic, but it essentially is just that. It's a little pot, maybe size of the palm of your hand, that if you put the gem inside, all you have to do is stir it, and if they're the right color, the color of the rainbow, it's going to generate a rainbow coming out of the bowl, the perfect arch.
And so Raimi fronts the 250 because that just sounds nifty.
He gives you the fall.
And if he doesn't already have the colors for these gems, it's like...
No, really. Remy decides to buy the gem of the appropriate colors.
I guess incidentally, what would be the pricing? Because I'm assuming it's a Roy G. Biv rainbow and not a 6-color rainbow.
It's a natural rainbow. Like the one you see on the outside. So
I'm mostly just wondering, is it basically, as far as gems are concerned, is it red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple? Or is purple actually indigo and violet?
Oh, okay. I get it. No, I definitely go with violet. Because I personally have seen more rainbows with the violet end.
Well, yeah, the 6-color rainbow is really just the simplified one you teach kids who are still learning their colors. And introducing indigo alongside blue and violet can be confusing for them because it's super close to both.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, I can easily see that.
All right, in which case he makes sure that he has 7 colored gems appropriate.
All right, well, that's easy enough. Like he said, any colors of gem he can provide, any cut. With the amount that you have, it's at this point a normal gem is essentially cosmetic. So how much gem would be worth each?
Mm-hmm.
10, 25, 50 gold.
Like, then since he just has to see the effect for himself, just like right in the store.
Oh, that's easy. He's gonna show you with a sampling of gems. He just put them in the bowl and he just stirs it a little bit. And as you see them all ending the moment he takes the finger out, you just see this slight shimmer and the rainbow appears. It's the exact width of the bowl, and it makes a perfect arch.
Maybe he's very much having a life is good moment.
And right now, the store owner is very much debating in his mind. Would Remy like a double rainbow? Because he has another bowl. But he's not, because I don't want to be mean and just make you spend money for nothing.
2 hours later.
So Remy leaves the store with 10 bowls. All right, so well, that's really up to you. It's the equivalent of saying in what types of bill do you want to have your money in? Do you want them in 5, 10, 25, 50 for each gem?
That is something I'll deal with more on
Okay.
at a later point.
You know, if Remy wants to, he can even takes all the gem he already has and exchange them all for the right 7 gems. Same quantity, of course. So he always has something.
And then when he brings them together, they form one big gem that gives him power over space and time.
Or a diamond. You know, that's something that you could probably ask. You know, you go find the gnomes and you ask for another bowl, and if you put it at the end of the rainbow turns into a diamond. Cool! I have a way to convert gems of different colors into diamonds, and diamonds into gems of colors. I'm so happy.
Jorg is crying.
It's okay. He's not there. He can't hear himself crying. All right, so I'll create the ball in D&D Beyond, but it's very cosmetic, so it's just going to be more helpful to write it down. All right, so and I'll leave it to your discretion to how many of which gem you want. You can convert any amount of money that you have into gems. There's no problem. All right. Well, with the...
On this dragon, get jealous.
The moment Remy shows you this, audience, you feel inside of you something saying, "Why can't I have that?"
Because I have to spend all my money on stuff that saves the world. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on. Excuses, excuses, excuses. I'm still waiting for my magical piece of art.
I tried! Who knows? Maybe if the other dragon really, really likes me, she'll give me like a small magical portrait. Probably not, but you know, there's always
Yeah,
that
because
hope.
it's going to be part of her own personal collection, which means she's already going to be
Yeah.
attuned to it.
Yeah.
All right. All right, well, with this, it's probably a good moment for the episode to end, because with all of the teleportation and you doing your shopping and everything, it's probably the equivalent of night for you.
Yeah.
Feeling a little bit tired. Although you did wake up very late, you're probably going to be...
Late night. Might go have a couple drinks at the tavern.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
pack it
See
in.
who's there. And next episode, we're going to start with Jorg and Fisher going to see Sarn, and probably the day will end at the tavern, and then we're going to go visit a dragon.
Yeah.
All right. So, with this, I think this is it for today's episode. Change background, open the campfire music. All right. Yeah, it was kind of funny to add this at the end, you know, since Jorg and Fisher weren't there, so we're not gonna make them more tired by having to watch all of this, and we're able to do it. And I got you to spend money on something. So
Ah,
Sales.
Uh,
Alright.
all right.
I do have to go to bed though, because it is 11:25, so I will.
All right, that's okay. No problem. Thank you for being here. If you want to go right now, I'm closing, so that's okay.
Alright. I will see you guys next
Sorry,
week.
next week. All right, so as I just said, see you next week or next Friday if you are watching this on the rebroadcast. And in the middle, there's a map making stream. I think we're going to try. If I can't make it work, we're just going to begin a new map. But if I can make Canvas of King work with OBS, I think we're going to try to make the map of a village. So, could be interesting. That's on Thursdays, sorry. Yeah, that's it. That's the schedule. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Hope you'll be there next week. If you want to help us, support us, you can always do so. You can follow us, leave like, leave comments. We got Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. If you want to do more, you can make a donation. Very much appreciated by me right now. Become a Patreon. Subscribe on Twitch. The information for all of those are below the window. Links and everything you need to go there. If you want to do more, if you can't do any of those and you still want to do something, well, there's a very free thing you can do that helps tremendously the channel. And that's spreading the word of the channel. Helps, I promise. So with this, thank you. Hope you had a pleasant whatever part of the day it is, wherever you are in the world. And hope to see you again next week. So as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.